It's a great honor to join you all here today for the launch of the good practices for enhancing access to justice and preventing and countering violent extremism. From the onset, allow me to congratulate Haji Africa for the launch of this publication, which serves as a roadmap in the fight against terrorism. These good practices are a reference point for the best practices in the fight against terrorism and violent extremism. I would like to further express my appreciation to the British High Commission for their invaluable support towards the development of this publication. And I want to apologize that we've had to change the dates of this function because of the exigencies of work that both me and the DCI had upon ourselves, and we had to request the change, and I understand that the British High Commission had confirmed to come in. We apologize. And I think also the director of NCTC was to come, but because of the strikes that we have today, they did not manage to come. So we apologize for those inconveniences. Allow me to recognize our partners in the criminal justice sector, whose presence signifies our collective commitment to effectively combat terrorism and violent extremism. Ladies and gentlemen, as critical actors in the criminal justice sector, we have a moral and professional obligation to develop and implement multifaceted approaches in preventing terrorism and countering violent extremism. I would therefore like to recognize the partnership between the criminal justice sector and the civil society in preventing terrorism and countering violent extremism. These partnerships have contributed towards a holistic approach to effectively bridge the gap between the citizens and the law enforcement, thereby building trust and confidence in the fight against terrorism. Violent extremism and organized criminal syndicates often target pervasive societal frustrations to radicalize vulnerable groups in society. The same, unfortunately, can be witnessed in our society. As such, the criminal justice sector, now more than ever, needs to be sensitive to the needs of the society and the citizens we have been called to serve. And I think this program is a very good example that it can really work. It is upon this premise that we are called upon to adopt a human rights-centric approach and to combat terrorism and countering violent extremism within the rule of law. The launch of these good practices could not have come at a more opportune time as organized criminal syndicates and terrorist organizations continue to evolve and exploit the technology and digital evolution. The success of this project is an example of the gains made through our adoption of a whole-of-society approach in our cooperation with civil society organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, whereas we laud the multi-strategies and initiatives developed by the criminal justice sector, I would be remiss if I fail to mention that more still needs to be done to address the following challenges. A, systemic insufficiencies such as corruption that further contribute to the commission of these crimes. B, the use of unregulated and concealed financial or financing mechanisms such as cryptocurrencies, which makes tracing of terror financing activities harder due to the anonymity that these platforms provide. And C, instances of witnesses and victim intimidation that often pervades the investigation and prosecution of these offenses and crimes. It is therefore critical that we strengthen inter- and intra-agency collaboration and cooperation in the prevention, investigation, and prosecution of these offenses so that we may once and for all tackle the scourge that is terrorism. In addition, it is important that we prioritize information sharing and multi-stakeholder investigations to ensure concerted efforts in the gathering and analysis of information collected by the multiple agencies. As I conclude, I am certain that continuous deliberations between ourselves will bring forth even more strategies on how we can address these gaps, and I look forward to hearing them, strengthening our work in this area. Finally, I would once again like to thank all the justice sector actors, civil societies, the justice centers that have worked tirelessly in the implementation of this project and the development of the good practices. May you and may we all continue the good work of advocating for human rights. I remember when we wanted to start this program, sometimes in 2018, when I took office, Hussein Khalid decided to come and pay a visit at the NSSF. And I had a personal assistant called Odim. And I think the minute he came out of the lift, my personal assistant really came running to my office and asked him what's wrong. He said, "Is this human rights person here?" I asked him, which one? He says, "You know that Haki Africa guy called Hussein Khalid? He's really bad. He supports terrorists." And I listened to him and I told him, "My friend, calm down. He's a Kenyan, he has every right and he will come and see me." And Hussein came in and he came up with this proposal. But I also remember in 2006, we had gone for a chevening cause in Birmingham. And I was in the governance sector, people from all over the world, within the Commonwealth, who came from the government side. And he was in a program, the civil society. And we could hardly look at each other. We could not stand each other. And that was 2006. So we've come a very long way. That we used to look at each other as antagonists. We never recognized that each one had their role and could play their role in bringing security and ensuring that access to justice is available to everyone. Is to try and look for local solutions to the problems that we're faced with. And I think that's what the justice was saying. Each locality, if we talk about the Rift Valley, it has its own challenges that are different from here at the coast or the northeast or elsewhere. But as a pilot, it's not that I was favoring the coast. It's because Hussein Khalid was bold enough to come and tell me, "We have this proposal, can we try and pilot it?" And I think it has proved that it can work. That, as you say, justice is relative depending on where you come from and the challenges that you face on the ground. And that we don't have a fit-all solution to everywhere within the country. And I think this is a very good example that if we take a local approach to solving problems, then we can be able to solve and get good results. And I think from 2018, the justice, you know yourself, we have seen a decrease in issues and matters of countering, in issues and matters of extremism and even terrorism itself. I think as a country today, we are facing the challenge of police excesses and what some people want to refer as extrajudicial killings, EJK. But I want to say this. I think that represents a very small fraction and percentage of the police. Those who are engaging in those activities are probably just 1%. And it should not be reflective of the good, or the reflective of the police. What we should recognize is that the police is doing a great job. And 99% of the work that they are doing we are enjoying as Kenyans today. We are able to walk in the streets safely. We are able to be here. And the police should not take it as if we are targeting or trying to penalize them. No. We are actually trying to safeguard the good name and the good service of the police by pointing out that those who have done wrongs do not represent the good force and the good work of the police. So, when we charge some police officers for the wrongs that they have done, we are not charging the whole force. And we are not saying that the whole force has done something bad. What we are saying is that those few people who are trying to tarnish that good name should face the law. I think moving forward, what we hope to see under this new dispensation in the next 5 years is that we will be able to cement a working relationship that works towards ensuring that there is good faith and collegiality between the different institutions that are charged with ensuring that the rule of law and access to justice is dispensed to each and every Kenyan. And that we will be people of integrity, and that we will be honest and true to the Constitution and the law. And I think what we're trying to do here is actually ensuring that the Constitution is functioning as it was envisaged, and that's to solve this problem. 2 months ago, I was in Mozambique. And Mozambique is actually facing the problems that we faced in early 2000s with terrorism. And they really don't, they are faced with a lot of challenges. And as Kenya, I think we tried to bring a different perspective to them, that countering violent extremism and a program like this one would work. And we did the same also with Nigeria. And I think both those countries are coming to Kenya to do a case study to be able to roll it out. So as the DCI has said, the effect of the good work that we are doing here and the fact that Kenya is a leading country within the region in democracy and in human rights, we are able then, with our heads held high, to export the good practices that we have. With those few words, I really want to thank Haji Africa. I want to thank the British High Commission. I want to thank our partners within the different government institutions and government arms, the judiciary, the DCI and the National Police Service, IPOA, for coming together and ensuring that this program is a success. Thank you very much. God bless you.